Hi, I'm Aaron, and this is my first devlog. I want to talk about a couple of things today. First off, last week I was at the JSNation in Amsterdam. That was a very nice conference. Had a good time meeting a lot of people, talking to a lot of people. Some of these I knew from the internet before, but others, just like a new connection, and that was a very cool event. I'm not super happy with how the talks were because honestly it felt like most of them were just sponsored talks, and I didn't like the feeling that most of the speakers paid to be on stage, That felt kind of weird to me, and also the topics were not that super interesting to me. But yeah, it was a cool conference and I really enjoyed Amsterdam as a city. But yeah, as some of you know, I also work on a lot of tiny side projects. Some more tiny, some less, but currently I'm my main focus is on two projects. One is CronJS, which is a platform to run cron jobs. On CronJS you can use JavaScript to create some kind of recurring cron job, right? So you just paste any kind of JavaScript and it will run at a schedule over and over again. In general, the project is in a good state. I'm currently debating when to launch it and what scope do I need for a launch. Because I do have so many more features in mind that I could add. Analytics is one part that I already promised on the landing page, but I don't have it fully implemented yet, because if we think about scale, which I know you shouldn't do, but if you think about scale, then it's kind of hard to estimate how well such a system as monitoring every job and saving away all the key metrics, how well this is gonna scale, so I'm not too sure with this. And I also have another domain already bought for it, and I have a whole rebranding in mind because I don't want to run only JavaScript. I also want to run every kind of, not every kind of programming language, but some more, right? So I bought the domain, how's it called again? cronjobs.cloud, which is a nice domain, I think. I could rebrand this, but I'm not too sure. Probably the best way to go from here is just to launch CronJS and see how the feedback is, right? Because currently I have 20 users or something and they are all quite happy, but I could just launch it on Product Hunt and see from there. For my current tasks there, one big thing is deployments, automatic deployments. I have a staging environment that I use for testing if everything works with a production database before I actually deploy to prod. And I of course have my local dev setup, but this uses a local database. So I develop locally and then I sync it to staging manually because I need to go into the staging VPS and do git pull, Docker compose build and all that. I do have some kind of GitHub Actions already defined to automate both deployments to staging as well as prod, but I'm not too happy with it, and it also misses end-to-end tests. I think an important part when you have a project like these kind of startups or SaaS, however you want to call it, you want to rely on, hey, is it still working or not, right? You need some kind of system to determine, is everything fine? You don't want to have user feedback only. Hey, this is broken, and you go shit, this is broken, I really need to fix it. I want to add end-to-end tests before I launch it so I can happily hack away still, even though it's launched and even though people might rely on it, right? Because it's a tool that you want to rely on. It currently it's very stable, but I don't want to break it accidentally and never realize until people actually tell me, hey, this broke. These are the thoughts that I have in mind regarding CronJS. Next up is a different side project of mine. It's Shotmetrics AI, which is a golf data analysis platform. So for golf, basically you have a small device that you put behind yourself, and then if you go on the driving range or into your home golf room and just play a few balls, this device will capture your data, and you will get a lot of data actually. And most people don't actually understand what all the data means and how it correlates to the other data points that you recorded. So I built a platform to analyze this and to process it into reports using AI. But the AI report, which is the main feature of the application, is kind of hallucinating a lot, and I think I need to rework this a bit more to make it actually useful. But last week I did actually have my first paying user ever for any kind of product, because I broke something in the app and the user trial didn't work for him. So he actually just went ahead and bought the application. It also needs a lot of work still because the retention rate, because of the AI report, is very low. Users mostly upload their data once or twice and then never come back. So that's an issue. Another big part I want to tackle there is I need to add emails, because if I get users to open the app more, then I might get more feedback and more reports, and that's just something I can work better with. That's basically it for today and for like the first 2 weeks of June. If you like this kind of devlog, comment below and tell me. It's just something that's easy for me to produce, and I have so much like in my head to talk about. It's just a nice format for me. Other than that, if you want to try any of the products that I mentioned, I can gladly give you some kind of free trials and all that, so I have the links in the description. Besides that, I also have a Discord if you want to chat directly. And with this, I think I'm done. See you next week, or maybe even in a few days. Thanks. Bye.